Hi, I'm Joel Bloom, president of New Jersey Institute of Technology. At NJIT, we believe that not only our students, but all citizens need to be informed about the issues facing higher education. As New Jersey's Science and Technology University, NJIT is proud to support the important programming produced by the CAUCUS Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of CAUCUS New Jersey has been provided by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. Suez, ready for the resource revolution. MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey. ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. KESSLER Foundation, changing the lives of people with disabilities. And by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, founded by the Jewish community.
We've begun a virtual dementia tour where we take our staff, specifically those involved in direct patient care, and put them through a simulation that mimics what it would be like to experience dementia. So we put headphones on them to obscure their auditory sense. They hear voices, there's background noise. We put goggles that obscure their vision, gloves on that decrease their tactile sense, inserts in their shoes that make it uncomfortable to walk like it might if they had neuropathy. And then we give them instructions, 5 very simple tasks that they need to go into a room and do. And it's very enlightening to them when they realize they're afraid.
Powerful. Steve Adubato, more importantly, let me introduce our very special guest you saw in the video. Cedar Wang is Director of Simulation Education at Holy Name Medical Center. What were we just looking at?
We were just looking at our dementia sensitivity training experience, in which we put our healthcare providers through a scenario that makes them feel like they have dementia.
Why?
For 5 to 10 minutes.
Excuse me, for 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. They get to experience what many of our patients live with day after day, and family members have to face. So the reason why we do that is because we feel like it gives them a better understanding. It makes them a little bit more patient when that patient asks the same question for the 10th time because they've lost their short-term memory due to dementia.
So, how many people, how many people are dealing with dementia right now?
Right now, according to the World Health Organization, 47.5 million people in the world have the diagnosis of dementia. More importantly, by 2050, that number will triple. So we're watching what they call a silver tsunami of an aging population, those over the age of 75, 80. That's the largest segment of the population that's growing. So,
Cedar, for those of us who have loved ones who are dealing with dementia right now, and we say things like, we can't imagine what they're going through. You literally are trying to have healthcare professionals imagine.
Not only imagine, but actually experience what they might be feeling.
How close is it?
People,
how do you know?
We wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. But the kinds of feelings that our participants describe are very similar to those with dementia when they're able to articulate what they're experiencing. Things like fear, embarrassment because they can't remember the instructions that we just gave them. Well, not being able to remember is something that people with dementia experience every day. They do have an awareness that they can't remember. And so many times they'll try to compensate by doing word puzzles or doing things they do feel competent at.
They are aware?
They are aware.
See,
they are aware.
I don't want to get too deep into this. People with dementia are aware that they have dementia?
Absolutely. Yes, especially in the early stages, they are aware. It's really not until the late stages that they're no longer aware. But most people will, usually people will go to the doctor, some will go to the provider by themselves and say, I'm having memory problems. We hear many people, many older folks, complain about memory problems. For some, it is just a slow decline, but for others, it is a diagnosis of dementia.
For medical professionals, how does it help them be better at what they do and help those who are dealing with dementia and those family members helping those with dementia?
I think it raises awareness within their own soul that this is an issue that is not just someone's problem and not their problem when it walks through the door, but if we are able to give them just a glimpse of what it feels like and to connect with that emotion, we really believe that it does change their attitude about dealing with patients with dementia. And so when we took our over 400 of our staff through this experience, we did demonstrate that their attitudes about dementia changed.
So the emotional reaction you got, describe it.
Very emotional, especially for those members of our staff that have a close family member that's currently dealing with dementia. We had many tears shed in our simulation lab after they experienced it, just not even imagining, feeling for their loved one so much. They just had to experience it for 5 or 10 minutes, but it's something that their loved one lives with constantly.
Acting as if it's not real, or acting as if, well, let me try it this way. We have to deal with this.
We do.
The alternative is what?
The alternative to?
The alternative of not finding better, more effective, more relevant, more empathetic ways of dealing with dementia and its impact on people is what?
Well, it certainly leads to ineffective care for the person with dementia. It leads to more burnout of caregivers because of just the frustration. There is a level at which it's a little easier for a caregiver to understand if they're empowered with a little knowledge. And so if they understand that their loved one's behavior is not anger, is not frustration, but really is a disease process, it's a little bit easier to understand.
It's so interesting. If I say who the loved one is, she'll know and she'll get really mad that I said this, so I won't do that. But the loved one who is the caregiver will often say to me, he makes me so angry.
Exactly.
But yeah, he's not trying to make her angry, is he?
He's not trying to make her angry, absolutely not. It is, dementia is a progressive illness of the brain.
Can he help it?
He cannot help it. He cannot help it. And that's the challenge. And that's what we hope this training reveals to people, that people's behaviors are due to an illness, are usually due to the illness. I won't say all the time because nobody's perfect, even when they have dementia. But we do have to default to that the behaviors that we're seeing, the anger, the frustration, it is due to the illness.
And so what is the caregiver supposed to say?
Well, oftentimes the caregiver can't really change what they're saying, but hopefully within themselves, they have a greater peace knowing that it's the illness, it's not something targeted at them personally, but it is just part of the disease process.
You love the work you do, don't you?
I do.
You make a difference every day.
I hope so. Yeah, gerontology is definitely a love of mine.
Well, the simulation education work is powerful. And it helps people see things in a way that they otherwise just wouldn't, even if they were the best clinicians in a certain area, technically.
Right, exactly. I think it speaks to the heart.
Yeah, and then real quick, 20 seconds, the other simulation education is in what areas?
We do emergency responses to cardiac emergencies, obstetrics. We're expanding out into disability training.
We just had a whole conversation on CAUCUS about that with a whole group of people. Cedar Wang is the Director of Simulation Education at Holy Name Medical Center. I want to thank you for joining us and helping us learn. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We will be right back right after this. Thank you, Cedar.
To see more CAUCUS New Jersey with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
The public television family is pleased to welcome Bill Hagaman, who is CEO of WithumSmith+Brown, an accounting firm based where?
Based in Princeton, New Jersey.
And what's the footprint?
Footprint is Boston to Philly and down in Florida.
otherwise known by one name, Withum.
One name, Withum.
I got to ask you something. I'm going to give you a hard time. So I'm looking at this ad with our partners at NJ Biz. You got this, Bob? Take this. Can you zoom in on this? Steve Barcy, our great cameraman. What is this guy? You see the sneakers? Now, I've been looking at this ad for a while, and you've got sneakers. The significance of the sneakers, you are the coach.
That's part of the significance. They're light blue Chuck Taylor Converse.
I love it.
That go with our new logo, our new brand, and we want to be the place where the cool kids want to work. So we're trying to appeal to the millennials.
Well, let's talk about that. You know, creating an environment, a certain kind of environment, you're an accounting firm, but in many ways, as you and I have talked about leadership offline, you were just saying before you got on the air, you like to read, influenced by Howard Schultz, who wrote the creator of that little company, Starbucks.
Yeah.
They hit me up pretty hard every morning, right? I love it there. You're a student of leadership. You're a student of organizational culture. Describe the culture you believe you've created at your company.
We try to create a culture that is young, entrepreneurial, doesn't constrain people's ideas and thoughts and innovation. We try to create a culture where the millennials are happy to work and they feel like they're gratified and they have an opportunity that'll be long-term.
So let's talk about that. You know, as a student of leadership myself, I'm often fascinated by the question of motivating quote-unquote millennials. Do you believe that motivating and engaging millennials is any different, that you're smiling as I'm asking the question, Bill, than say 10, 15, 20 years ago?
I do.
How so?
The millennials have grown up in a different environment than you and I,
Go ahead.
and even the Gen X folks. And the millennials.
What, now Gen X is old school?
That's correct. So Gen X is old school.
Go ahead.
They don't necessarily relate to the millennials.
This is great.
You know, so the millennials like to give back to the community. They like opportunity. They like to be challenged. But they also are not loyal. They're not tied. So you got to try to build loyalty in them, loyalty to your organization. And so that, because if you think about a millennial, they can go online, put the resume online, and have 5 job offers within a weekend. So you need to be able to impress upon them that you've got an organization that's going to provide for all their needs and give them the opportunity so that they don't do that.
How do you do that? Give us an example. You have this week of caring, right?
Withum Week of Caring is one of the ways we do, because clearly millennials like to give back to the community. As a firm, and I've been with the firm since 1980, we've had a philosophy of giving back to the community. So what we try to do is formalize that. In 2011, we started Withum Week of Caring. We give everybody in the firm an opportunity to spend 4 to 8 hours during the week of Thanksgiving to give to some kind of community organization. We have team building activities which organize them, and we'll go to food banks, we'll go to ASPCAs, we'll go make breakfast at a homeless shelter, we'll go give away clothes, we'll at a women's shelter.
You help our partners at the Community Food Bank.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very very important organization. Down in the, we also work down at the Monmouth County Food Bank.
Sure.
We do a lot of work there. We work Tim McClune's organization.
It's a great organization.
So all great
around the holidays,
organizations.
Holiday Express.
Yes,
They're the
Holiday
best.
Express. So we do all of that.
Does it make them more, not make them, does it help folks to be more loyal and committed to the organization?
I think they like to work for organizations that they feel have a community base and they feel are giving back to their community, because it's very important to our staff to be able to do that.
Okay, tie that to the bottom line, because you have to be very bottom line driven, and you are. Connect the two.
Our firm, compared to our peer group, has turnover that's less than half compared to the peer group. That generates bottom line dollars. It's not something you can quantify. Some people will say the cost of replacing an employee or staff person, as we call them, is $50,000 to $200,000. Pick a number, any number, and all of a sudden, doing things like Withum Week of Caring and other programs we have just make a ton of sense.
The field of accounting, we've had other accounting leaders on in the past, other firms. I'm curious about this. Accounting has changed in what ways, and say in the past 10 to 15 years, the most dramatic ways?
Well, technology's changing it. Innovation is coming and changing it. Clients want us to be trusted advisors and not necessarily want us to be compliance people. So we need to know We need to get to know our clients and understand what they need. Preparing a tax return, auditing a financial statement is just a small part of what we do.
Women in leadership. One of the things that we noticed was that you're very supportive of women, promoting leadership for them. You're one of the sponsors of the NJ Biz initiative, 50 top women in business.
Yes.
Why have a special or you have a unique program promoting women in business at the firm?
We do. You know, women's needs are unique.
Are they?
They are. They are. If you read the book Lean In.
Yes.
All right. You read the book Lean In.
Sheryl Sandberg.
Sheryl talks about the societal challenges that women have. They talk about the unique issues because in most cases they are the primary caregiver.
That's right.
I wasn't expected to be the primary caregiver.
Neither was I.
And it's just those issues become unique. So you have to form teams so that they can share the uniqueness. And what we try to do is create flexibility within our firm so we can react to the issues women have to be productive in the workplace as well as take care of what they feel they need to take care of at home. So we try to be flexible, and that kind of comes out of our women leadership
It's
program.
interesting you say this. You're talking to a guy who tries to lead an organization with 9 or 10 women who run the organization every day, who are all leaders, and without that flexibility, you can't get this done. Many of whom are moms and have a lot of responsibility. They have great husbands who are involved as well, but that's a lot of responsibility. Without that flexibility, if you say, these are the hours, this is the situation, and that's the way it is, what happens?
It just doesn't work. They're going to wind up leaving. They have options. What we try to tell women is you tell us what job works for you, which clients you want to work on, what hours you want to work, what tasks you want to do, and we'll let you know if it fits. And we will try to design the job around what your needs are. And I tell you, we have like a 99% success rate with working that out.
Before we let you out of here, this new book I wrote, Lessons in Leadership, I tell you about, I've been asking leaders this question. The number one leadership, not lesson, but number one leadership challenge you have faced in the top position you've been in over the years is?
Wow, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
The number one leadership challenge I face day in and day out really is trying to get everyone to row the boat in the same direction, trying to keep everybody motivated every day. I often say I'm nothing more than the head cheerleader for the organization. So I need to get everybody coming to work every day thinking what's best for the firm. And I think overall, that's the biggest leadership challenge.
Love it. Hey, next time you come in, could you wear your Chuck Taylors?
I'd love to.
You got it. Appreciate it.
Providing you ask me back.
Okay, you got it. Thanks so much.
Steve.
Stay with us. We're right back right after this.
To see more Caucus New Jersey with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD. And follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
The public television family is pleased to welcome Willie Cole, who is a visual artist and a perceptual engineer. You got to help me on this perceptual engineer, Willie. What is that?
Well, I engineer new ways of seeing, basically. It's a term I got from the advertising world, perceptual engineering. They orchestrate and create new ways for us to see society.
You were a graphic artist.
Yes.
When did you make the transition to being full-time
I made
artist?
the transition after getting fired from a computer graphics job in 1981.
For art, because when it comes to art, when did you know, other than, I don't think it was when you got fired, I don't know that.
No, not at all.
When did you know that art had to be a part of your life?
Art has been a part of my life since I was born, really. At 3 years old, my mom found me tracing the Sunday comics. And from that moment on,
Where
my
was it?
family always called me an artist.
Where was that?
That was in the city of Newark. The city of Newark.
You know, what's so fascinating in reading about your background is that you never really had, unless I get this wrong, you'll tell me, you didn't have anyone pushing you or saying, you're the one, we'll back you, here's financial backing, here's marketing, here's whatever, who was pushing you? Was it you?
I was pushing myself, but I had a lot of emotional support for being creative. But no one in my environment understood the profession of being an artist. So that's something I just grew into on my own.
The profession of being an artist. So what I'm fascinated by is the whole question of how one is an artist and pays his or her bills. It wasn't meant to be funny.
Right, it is funny.
Okay, when you first became a professional artist, you were on certain corners in New York City,
Right.
and you were putting out what kind of art?
I started out as a professional artist selling art on the street, making color Xeroxes of my paintings, standing on the corner of 6th Avenue and West 4th Street,
yeah.
selling those color Xeroxes framed and doing portraits. And that was after I got fired from the computer graphics job.
I know it's a cliche question when someone says, was there a big break? Was there a significant break for you?
Well, the most significant break to me was just my awareness that it was real, that it was possible. I had worked as a graphic designer in the old tradition with the ruling pen and the X-Acto knife and the press type, and then computer graphics. And I did that as a freelancer as well. So once I lost my full-time job, I realized the struggle to be a fine artist was the same as the struggle to be a freelance graphic designer. I was always looking for people to give me opportunities, knocking on doors, getting rejection. So I said, if I'm going to get beat up, I might as well get beat up by somebody who I really want to communicate with, as opposed to just trying to make a dollar.
The business side of art, were you handling that yourself?
Oh, always, always. The first step, though, was getting the knowledge. I read a lot of books about the art business.
About the business?
About the business of art. A book called The Art Dealers. It told me about all the top dealers in the world, what they like, how they got started in business, how they select artists, who they show at this time. So that was very motivating for me. Plus, I had a friend who was an art dealer. He sold African art, and he was always very encouraging.
So why don't we do this? There's a piece, because we've been talking to artists who are connected to the Newark Museum, and we're going to be showing this piece that in 2013, I think,
Yes.
that the Newark Museum purchased called Soul Sitter.
Yes.
Describe it, and then you told me before we got on the air how it happened. What is it?
Soul Sitter is a 6-foot-tall bronze replica of a piece that was originally made out of, I think, maybe 12 high-heel shoes.
12
So
high-heel
first made
shoes.
small out of shoes, and then blown up through technology to a larger piece and cast in bronze. It is an example of perceptual engineering. It reminds you of the Rodin piece called The Thinker.
Yeah.
So I was very aware of that, but I didn't want to call it The Thinker. I called it the Soul Sitter because I like the double entendre of shoe soles, the human soul, and all that thing. And he's sitting and thinking.
The other piece, could you show the other piece, Georgette, and talk us through it? This piece. What is that, Willie?
Oh, yes. That piece is called Eye Candy.
Eye candy.
Eye candy,
Go ahead.
E-Y-E candy. Eye candy is, I have done a lot of work out of high heel shoes, and most of the concepts grew from a list that describes the way that we perceive females in society, whether it be positive or negative.
You got to give me more than that. You can't.
So the title comes with that awareness, eye candy. But they're basically just masks or heads or busts made from high heel shoes.
You see things there that no one else sees.
That's why I'm the engineer, yeah.
That's right. Put up something else, and I want you to react to it, and we'll talk us through it. Go ahead.
So this is the Soul Sitter in its original state. That piece is not made of, well, that is a bronze, actually. That's the original size. That piece is the same size as the original shoe sculpture.
Right.
So it has a different name. Once I enlarged it, it had more presence, so it had to get a new name. But it existed in my studio for years as almost a toy. It was like the torso, the legs, and the head, all separated, so I could pose it this way some days, this way some days. Then at some point I decided to make it a permanent piece, and that's the result of it there.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because your work is so original, I know people could use that word, overuse that word. Was there anyone who really inspired you, moved you in a certain way?
In history?
In art?
Everything inspires me. but there were markers
Influence. Sorry for interrupting. Is there a difference between inspire and influence?
Influence. Yes, there's definitely a difference. Inspire means in spirit.
Anyone influence?
Influence, just awareness of art history. I studied African art in high school, because I went to high school during the time of sudden Black consciousness and awareness in the 60s. In college, I had Rosalind Jeffries, who was a great professor of African art. So that was great inspiration. But in Western art history, I was inspired by Marcel Duchamp and Pablo Picasso, mostly.
These are the times that I wish I understood more. And I appreciate just listening to you. And I know you helped the public television audience understand or appreciate just a little bit more about your work, but more importantly, they should go online and check you out. Thank you, Willie.
Oh, thank you.
That was great. Thank you.
All right.
The preceding program has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and 13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of CAUCUS New Jersey has been provided by Bank of America, NJIT, Suez, MD Advantage, ADP, KESSLER Foundation, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ.com, Small News, Big News, True Jersey, and by NJ Biz, All Business, All New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. CAUCUS New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
I think at NJIT there are a lot of smart students.
I came to NJIT for mechanical engineering because with in-state, it's one of probably the top 3 schools for engineering.
It sort of creates a friendly competition where you can learn from them.
It's a great academic school.
I feel I'm being challenged, but at the same time, I love the classes I'm taking.
The atmosphere of being here is like being at an upstart company. It's that same kind of drive, that same kind of passion.